Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. I'm Mark, this is Spiguyver Backpacking, and last week I showed you guys some of the food that I'm going to be taking when I go out and do the Tahoe Rim Trail. Today we're going to be looking at how I'm going to be carrying it, what options are out there for carrying, hanging, that type of stuff, and what I opted to go with. So let's just jump right into this. Alright, so I showed you guys the food that I was going to be using. This right here is just part of the food that I'm going to be using. You can see it's a pretty good sized box right here filled. The way that we're doing this trip, it's almost split in half. It'll be pretty much 5 days and 6 days. So at some point I'm going to have 6 days worth of food all with me, and so I need to be able to carry all that. And on top of that, the Tahoe Rim Trail does have a lot, especially in Desolation Wilderness, has a lot of bears and a very active bear population. Last year, a lot of people had their food broken into, had their food kind of played with by the bears, and some of them actually lost their food to some bears that are out there. And so I've got 6 days of food right here. So this is 6 days worth of food, and I've got to figure out how to pack this and take it with me. It's not light, and it doesn't pack down super small. I mean, they're all freeze-dried and kind of shrink-wrapped, but it's still going to take up a lot of room to pack this much food for that many days out on the trail. And so this is what I've been dealing with and trying to figure out, how am I going to take this? I had some options. So let's take a look at what I normally use. Okay, so my normal method for doing food is this Cuban fiber Dyneema bag. It's got a Velcro closure at the top, roll top, and then it kind of just buckles together. And then I've got some glide line to throw over a tree branch and bring it up into a tree and hang it. Now you can use the standard method or the PCT method. I've used both, and I think that out there people prefer using the PCT method because it gets it a little bit further away from the tree and hangs it a little bit lower, because the bears out there are known to be really good climbers and smart, and they've been known to swipe at the cord that's hanging. They've been known to climb up and go out the limbs and reach down and grab the food. So PCT method is the preferred and recommended method if you're going to use a bag and hang it. Now, I could probably fit all of that food in here. It's going to be tight. It's going to be really tight. But this doesn't really provide me too much bear protection, and sometimes it can be hard to find good places to hang your food. Some of the areas, there's not a lot of trees. Even though we're going to be hanging the hammocks, it's going to be tough to find enough trees that you can hang and hang your food far enough away that the bears aren't in your camp. And so one of the preferred options out there is going with a bear canister. Now, I have a bear canister. I've actually got 2 different bear canisters. I started out from a trip, the very first trip that I actually did a video on for this YouTube channel was out in the Adirondacks, and I got the Bear Vault 450 for that. If we take a look at this big box of food here and this little canister, I don't think that's going to work. I don't think I'm going to be able to fit 6 days of food in this. This is maybe a 2 to 3 day. This is a weekender, really. And so the next step up from this is the Bear Vault 500, which I actually got from a viewer of this channel. Bought this one from a viewer. Actually met him out in the on the Elk River hiking trail when Chris and I were out there. Met him, didn't know he was going to be out there. He didn't know I was going to be out there. Met each other out there, and next week he'd ship this out to me. But so this one's a little bit bigger, and I could probably cram 90% of that 6 days in here. I might be able to get it all in there if I really use all the space in here. But I believe this thing weighs 2 pounds 10 ounces, and it's pretty bulky. I would probably have to put this on top of my pack, and that kind of throws the weight distribution off a little bit, because with it up on top, strapped to the top, it's going to be heavy up there, because this isn't light. 2 pounds 10 ounces for this, plus the food all sitting up on top of the pack, is going to throw the weight distribution off a little bit and make it kind of top heavy. So I think I am going to go with this option. So a lot of people have gone this route, and as long as you use it right, I think it's a pretty effective tool. This is the newest version. This is the one that they've redesigned, redone. If you get the white ones, those are the old ones. The black is the new, and this is the Ursack Major XL. So I went the XL because, as you can see, man, that is a big sack. It's got the cross rope in here, and you tighten it up with this. You have to kind of pull on it, tighten it, get it all tight, but I can easily fit all the food that's in there in here. And this is made of a material that supposedly the bears can't get through. I know that there are rumors and reports out there of bears getting into Ursacks, but I think a lot of those times it is due to improper use. A way to kind of help this, aid it a little bit, is to use an OpSack, which is an odor-proof sack. And it's like a big Ziploc bag. So I'm gonna go ahead and order one of those and use that in here just to minimize the odor and try and keep the bears from coming in. Now, granted, I don't know how well that's gonna work. You know, if I'm opening it and closing it and any smell gets on the outside. So a grizzly bear, I don't know about black bears. There are no grizzly bears in the Tahoe area, but grizzly bear's sense of smell, I believe, is 20,000 times greater than that of a human. I believe it's 7 times greater than a bloodhound. So very good sense of smell on bears. And so using that OpSack may cut down the odor a little bit and keep them from going for this. The way that these are actually used is they're tied around a tree at about head level, and the bears can come up and crunch it, smash it, and they'll probably smash the food up inside, but they can't rip through it and they can't get it off the tree. And all of this is made from like a Kevlar material, bulletproof material, Spectra, and so this is probably the best option I've got right now to fit the amount of food that we're doing and stay safe. Yeah, the bear canisters are probably the most foolproof option, but they're also heavy and bulky, and I just didn't want to go with that. So this was the option that both Rain Man and I have decided to go with, is the Ursack Major XL. So let's load this thing up with 6 days of food and see if it all fits. All right, so the box is now empty. All of the food that was in there is now in here, and you see I didn't pack it. There's definitely spots in here where I could shove, you know, a bar or more coffee or whatever, but I've actually got a bit of room up here at the top. You can see I could roll it down even. But that XL really does carry a lot of food. They say it's good for up to a week's worth of food. 6 days, I could definitely get another day's worth in there. And I usually like to carry about a day, a half a day's worth of reserves. And really, until you're out on the trail, you're not sure exactly how hard you're gonna eat, how much you're gonna eat, how hungry you're gonna be on each trip. And so this is kind of the starting point. 6 days worth. When we hit that midpoint, swap it out, grab a resupply, refuel it. But with this bag only being 9 ounces, look, I could probably fit all of that food into this bear vault. It would be crammed in there pretty good, but that's an additional 2 pounds, 1 ounce above what this Ursack is. And for a trip of this magnitude, with the amount of camera gear that I'm going to be carrying, this is the way I'm going. Ursack Major XL, it's what I'm using on this one. If you guys have any comments, if you've had any experience using this, down below, let me know about it. What would you use if you were going out on this trip? Tahoe Rim Trail, 165 to 200 miles, depending, side trips, all that other stuff. 1 resupply. It'll be 5 days and 6 days. This is 6 days worth of food right here. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I will see you down the trail.